May claimants, dumadami. Okay? And then submit the complete claim requirements. For us to properly assess the validity of the claim and the circumstances surrounding the loss of event, it is important for us to have the complete claim requirements submitted. So we also have the right to request for additional requirements or evidences. Ito yung mamaya alam ko nagkakaroon tayo ng challenges and minsan nagkakaroon pa ng samaan ng loob no pagdating dito sa mga additional requirements or evidences that I can discuss later. Properly accomplish all the claim forms. As you know, our claim forms po has many questions in the forms. But each questions is very vital for us to assess the claim. May mga cases po kasi na nakaka-receive kami ng mga claim forms na wala talagang nakasulat, pirma lang, policy number lang at saka pirma. 'Di ba parang paano naman namin may evaluate or ma-assess yung claim without those information? So, every questions in the forms are very vital for us in assessing the claim. Okay? So, ito yung sinabi ko kanina. Who are the qualified claimant? So, designated living beneficiary. Alam ba ng lahat, thumbs up naman, ano yung difference ng primary at saka ng contingent beneficiary? Aware ba ang lahat tungkol doon? Pa-thumbs up naman po. Yan. So, yun. Madaming nakakaalam naman. So, sinong una-una nating babayaran in times na meron tayong death benefit? Sino una nating babayaran? You can unmute. O may hindi nakakaalam.
Primary.
Okay. Yun. So, si primary ang unang-una nating babayaran. Si primary siya yung main recipient of the death benefit proceeds at the death of the insured. Kailan ba natin babayaran si contingent? Magbabayad lang tayo kay contingent kapag wala ng primary. Okay? Hindi po pwedeng, halimbawa, tatlo yung beneficiary, yung primary beneficiary, namatay yung isang primary beneficiary, hindi pwedeng aakyat yung isang contingent beneficiary. Hindi po ganun yon. So, as long as merong primary beneficiary, doon lang tayo magbabayad. Si contingent beneficiary po, tsaka lang natin babayaran pag wala ng primary beneficiary. I hope that's clear. Okay? Kay owner, si owner is entitled of the death benefit proceeds if no designated beneficiary survived the insured. So minsan may mga cases na iba si insured, iba si owner, magbabayad tayo kay owner kapag wala namang designate beneficiary. Minsan lang mangyari ito with FWD because digital tayo and we are required to name beneficiaries. Hindi nyo masasubmit yung mga applications without the beneficiary. We have parang walang beneficiary sa form per digital. Pero kapag walang beneficiary no, sa form, we pay to the substitute beneficiaries. No? Ito yung number 3. So the substitute beneficiaries are entitled of the death benefit proceeds if the designate beneficiary and owner did not survive the insured. If ever po na yung number 1 wala, yung number 2 wala, then dun tayo sa substitute. Pero kung digital yung claim, ay digital yung application, dito tayo. So ito yung hierarchy of the beneficiaries. So ang hierarchy ng beneficiary is the legal spouse, and then the legitimate children and illegitimate children, and then the parents, and then the brother, sister of the half-blood. So, parents po, mother and father. Hindi pwedeng kay mother lang, hindi pwedeng kay father lang. So, kapag single yung kliyente natin, wala pang spouse, wala pang children, then parents tayo. Okay? And then, pagka wala na yung parents, that's the time that we pay for the brothers, sisters of the half-blood. And then, kapag wala talaga tayong makita kung sino yung babayaran natin, no, estate of the insured. So, this is entitled of the death proceeds if the primary beneficiary, contingent beneficiary, owner, and substitute beneficiaries did not survive the insured. So, ito wala na talaga tayong magbabayaran, no. So, mag-estate na, magre-require na tayo ng estate requirements, which, yun nga, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, mahirap naman na mangyari because usually meron tayong name beneficiaries. Okay, so that's for the death claim. For the living benefit claim, we pay to the owner, no? of the policy. So kung iba si insured at saka kay owner lang tayo magbabayad. For cases ng critical illness, if the insured owner is different, no, from the insured or the designated beneficiary. Halimbawa po, may mga ganun tayo, ang critical illness na hindi na talaga kaya or hindi na natin pwedeng ibayad kay owner kasi hindi na siya makakapunta sa bank, hindi na siya makakapirma ng cheque. No, may mga situations po that we pay to the beneficiary na even if it's critical illness benefit. Pag nakita natin na incompetent na si insured owner to receive the benefit. Okay? Okay, so for our SLA, we have, ito nga yung sinabi ko, we have two types of claim, yung death benefit and then the living benefit. So for contestable, we have 30 days. Bakit? Ito yung na-explain ko kanina ng mga pinagdadaanan. Merong medical review, merong legal review, may third-party investigators, meron tayong reinsurers. So minsan umaabot pa up to underwriting and claims committee. That's why we have the 30 days na turnaround time. And then for incontestable claims, we have 5 days. Okay? So for our claims disbursement, usually credit to account ngayon because mas mabilis, mas madali. Pero if you still want to have that check, pwede pa rin po. No, you can request to us na mag-check payment kasi minsan may mga ganun pong sitwasyon na meron tayong photo op, no, with the clients. Tapos meron talagang cheque. May mga ganun pa rin po ngayon nagre-request ng cheque. Okay, and then we name it to the beneficiary for the death claim and kay owner po kapag ka-living benefit. Okay. So, alam ba ng lahat kung anong ibig sabihin ng contestable claim? Yan, pa-thumbs up naman. So, okay. For contestable claim, ang ibig pong sabihin nito are kapag ka po ang death ay nangyari within the 2-year contestable period, no? So, magkaiba po, I can discuss later yung mga requirements natin for contestable claim and for incontestable claim. So, kapag ka po contestable, we require for the complete basic claim requirements. Mamaya, I can discuss ano ba yung mga basic claim requirements. And then, submission of complete medical records. Once we require for the complete medical records, ang ibig pong sabihin nito, kahit prior to issuance of the policy. Pwede ding records from the previous consultations and confinements or other checkups, and then the current consultations and confinements. Usually po, ay ito yung lagi namin na-experience. Ang nare-receive po namin ay yung current lang. Kung ano lang yung nung dinala siya sa hospital, namatay siya, ayun lang yung binigay sa aming documents. No? Pero pagka-contestable po, we still require for previous medical records. Dito po yung laging nagiging pending natin. And then submission of additional medical questionnaires. That is the hypertension questionnaire, diabetes questionnaire, kidney questionnaire. Madami po tayong mga questionnaire. Siguro aware kayo dyan pagdating sa underwriting, no, na merong mga nire-require na questionnaires. Ganon din po with claims. Ito po yung sinasabi ko na nagkakaroon tayo ng challenges, no? Yun po yung sinasabi ninyo or nagkakaroon tayo ng hindi magandang impression with claims. Ang lagi po nating sinasabi na napaka-piecemeal naman. Kaka-submit ko lang, nung January ko pa yan sinubmit, ngayon kayo nang hihingi ng hypertension questionnaire. May mga ganun po talagang sitwasyon. Inaamin ko po yun, pero hindi ko lahat maipapaliwanag. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng mga tampuhan, minsan nagagalit kayo kay claims, no? Kasi po, piecemeal submission of the requirements is also piecemeal claim requirements, no? Halimbawa po, ang example ko lagi, January namatay yung client, ni-report nyo sa amin na patay yung kliyente, and then nag-provide lang kayo ng death certificate. Dahil contestable yung claim, nanghihingi kami ng medical record. So nakapending yung case sa atin. Come July, bibigyan niyo po kami ng magsasubmit kayo ng medical records kasi okay na yung client, yung beneficiary, nakapag-mourn na. Minsan po kasi hindi talaga sila agad-agad nagsisend sa atin ng requirements. So, dahil okay na yung client, may time na sila to get the medical records, ibibigay niyo sa amin yung medical records ng July. Come July, mababasa po namin dun sa medical records na meron palang history yung kliyente ng hypertension, may history yung kliyente ng other illnesses no? Na possible po na hindi na-inform doon sa application form. That is why manghihingi po kami ng questionnaires kasi mas thorough yung mga information na kailangan natin on the questionnaire. Kaya kapag pinasa nyo yung medical records on July, sa July din po kami magre-require ng hypertension questionnaire. Sa July din po kami manghihingi kung ano po yung nakita namin on the additional medical submissions, no? So, ganun po yung nangyayari. Kaya please bear with us. Ganun po yung reason kung bakit nagkakaroon ng piecemeal, no? Pero as much as mas maganda po talaga if at the time of claiming, kompleto na sana yung requirements. Nangyayari yun. Madami naman din nagbibigay ng ganun. So, lalo na kapag ka po yung mga magagandang ospital. Minsan, magagandang ospital talagang napaka-comprehensive na nung medical history. Makikita mo na kagad doon. Wala na kaming question. Kasi kompletong-kompleto. Pero, yun nga po yung hirap sa Pilipinas, di ba? Hindi naman pare-pareho na ganun yung mga hospital na mag-send ng information. Minsan kahit na napakahirap basahin ng sulat, kailangan namin basahin. Minsan kulang yung information na nakalagay doon. That's why we are also asking, no, for the beneficiaries. And because of the Data Privacy Act, nahihirapan din po kami na kumuha ng information on our own. Kagaya din po ninyo, kailangan po talaga we coordinate with the client, we authorize the client, and minsan kahit nag-authorize na yung kliyente, ito po yung mga challenges talaga natin, hindi pa rin kami pinapayagan to get the medical records from the client. Minsan ang gusto talaga nila is the claimant or the beneficiary ang pupunta sa hospital to get, no? Minsan ang hinihingi pa nila wet signature, minsan naman kailangan pa ng original ID. Iba-iba pong hospital, iba-iba din yung requirements. Hindi po sila pare-pareho. Minsan nakakakuha kami with the authorization na binibigay ng kliyente. So, yun din po yung challenges natin in getting the medical records. Para lang po din aware kayo, no? Okay. So for cases where death was due to accident, the following will still be required even if the death happened because of the accident. So kahit aksidente po yung kinamatay ng kliyente natin, basta contestable, kailangan pa rin natin ng complete medical records. Previous consultations, kung meron additional medical questionnaires. Laging sinasabi, Miss Julie, wala silang recent consultations, wala silang recent confinements, hindi talaga na-confine yung kliyente. Pero makikita namin employee yung client. So meron lahat ng employees, meron silang APE or annual physical examination. Kahit yun po, isubmit ninyo yun. Pwede yun. Kasi uh, entitled po talaga ang mga employees na magkaroon ng APE as governed by the Department of Health and DOLE. No? So usually, yun yung hinihingi namin. Pwede nyo kaming bigyan ng mga executive check-ups, APEs, result of APEs, then we can honor that. Okay? So for incontestable claims, ito yung mga claims beyond 2 years. Wala na tayong question. Basta hindi fraudulent yung claim, no? Nakikita din po namin yon because we are trained, no? Ayun nga yung sinabi ko, on the authenticity of the documents, alam namin kapag fake or hindi. Alam namin if there's a fraud. Hindi lang po kasi talaga, lalo na for contestable kanina, no? Hindi lang po talaga kasi flood control ang issue, no? May mga fraudulent po talaga na nangyayari. And nakaka-encounter na po tayo ng mga ganong experience na nakaka-receive tayo ng death benefit, ng death certificate, pero pag pina-investigate namin may buhay na insured, no? Siya pa yung humaharap dun sa investigator pero buhay siya. Nangyayari na po ito ngayon. So, yun po yung reason din kung bakit si claims may mga hinihingi na certified true copy. May mga hinihingi na kailangan stamp, kailangan merong original. May mga ganun pong klase na hinihingi kami because may nakikita na kaming red flags on those. So for incontestable claims, you just have to submit the basic claim requirements, which I can inform you later. No? So Payable lagi si basic life basta incontestable na or beyond 2 years. That's why ayan po yung napaka-importante na hindi maglalaps yung policy ni client. Kasi pag naglaps yung policy ni client at nag-reinstate, balik na naman yung contestability natin on the reinstatement date. No? So, yon. Attached rider on incontestable policy may still be subject for further evaluation. Rider claim is always contestable even if the claim already happened after the 2 years contestability. So pag ang pinag-usapan po natin is riders, ano ba yung riders? Critical illness, ayan po yung mga health pro, recovery pro, safety pro, lahat po yan contestable. No? So we treat that as contestable and we can always contest dun sa rider. Okay, so other guidelines, we will follow the attached contract provisions of the policy. For cases with multiple policies, benefit definition may vary depending on the plan or provision. So, hindi po ibig sabihin na kapag ang isang policy ay approved, lahat na ng policy niya approve. Hindi po ganon mag-process si claims. May possibility po na halimbawa tatlo yung policy ni client, isa lang yung maa-approve, pwedeng yung dalawa denied because based po tayo dun sa contract provisions ng mga policies. Okay? So, as what I have mentioned, rider claim is always contestable then. Uh, just to just to give you then feedback on the death claim, usually for incontestable claim at accident po yung cause of the death, binabayaran na natin si basic, no? Inuuna na natin yung basic. Pero yung pagpa-process po or pag-a-assess ng accidental death, hindi po kagaya nung incontestable na it will be payable, outright payable. So we assess the accident kung talaga bang ang cause of death ay accident. Kung halimbawa vehicular accident, we request for the police report, wala bang violation of law during the time of accident, habang nagmamaneho ba siya, hindi ba siya lasing, naka-seatbelt ba siya. Yun yung mga information na gusto na kailangan naming malaman. Lalong-lalo na po kung violent death. So, kapag ka violent death, if the death is due to murder, pinatay, gunshot wound, hindi din po kami makakapag-release agad-agad ng accidental death because we need to check. No? May mga cases din na kahit yung uh, beneficiary, no, up to that level, baka may kinalaman sa pagkamatay, lalo na po kung violent death. So, kung nalunod yung kliyente, ang iisipin ni claims, nalunod ba talaga o nilunod? Kung nagkaroon ng food poisoning, na food poison ba talaga or nilason ng beneficiary? Because kapag po ang beneficiary ay may kinalaman sa pagkamatay, hindi po natin babayaran si beneficiaries. And nangyayari din po yan, no, with our experiences in processing the claims. So, ito po yung when is claim not payable. So during the contestability period, if there's a concealment of material medical history at the time of application, claim will be denied and the policy will be rescinded. If the death was due to accident, but there is a concealment of material medical history at the time of application, claim will still be denied. So ayun yung mga tipong, Miss Julie, hindi naman hypertension yung kinamatay ng kliyente, vehicular accident, bakit ninyo dinideny? No? Because kapag meron tayong nakita na concealment or non-disclosure of material medical history at the time of application, we will deny the claim. Kaya ano bang dapat gawin? No? Again, si claims laging nakapartner with underwriting. If all information were declared at the time of application, wala nang question si claims. Basta na-inform si underwriting at that time. Yung mga hypertension, mga diabetes, mga asthma, if that was declared at the time of application, walang problema pagdating kay claims kasi wala namang concealment, no? Dahil na-disclose at the time of application. So second, when claim is not payable, ito yung sinabi ko kanina, when the beneficiary causes the death of the insured. Lalo na po kung violent yung cause ng death ng insured. May mga cases na kahit ano pong follow-up ninyo, I'm sorry po, hindi po talaga kami makakapag-release ng benefit. Usually, dinidisclose din naman namin sa inyo yung mga information. Kaya lang very, very careful kami kasi hindi natin pwedeng i-disclose with the claimants. No? Yung mga possible na nakikita namin hanggat maaari, isikreto namin sa inyo. Kasi may mga cases na ah, yung insured pinatay ng driver. So, itong wife, follow up ng claim. Driver ang pumatay niyan. Bakit hanggang ngayon ayaw nyo pa rin bayaran yung claim? Dahil may nakita kami sa investigation na si driver pala at saka si Mrs. ay may relasyon. So, yung mga ganong cases, oo, hindi si Mrs. ang pumatay, pero possible na merong cause ng pagkamatay ni insured, no? Ganun po yung pagdating sa assessment ng claim. That is how we assess. Kahit po sa beneficiaries, we are also assessing. And this is also my point in not in informing you not to disclose information lalo na po kung hindi claimant, no? Kung kapitbahay lang to, nakikipag-usap lang sa inyo, or ayun yung mga sinasabi ko din with FSCs na pag-uusapan lang sa bangko. So, wag po nating i-disclose kasi may mga cases din po sa contact center na kunwari siya yung wife tatawag, nakuha na ba yung benefit, to find out hindi pala si wife yung tumawag, ibang wife pala yung tumawag. No, as much as possible, let us just mas maganda po manggagaling sa inyo dahil you know the claimant, mas kilala ninyo, mas aware kayo, no, na wag magdi-disclose ng information kahit po magkakapatid yung beneficiary. Nag-disclose tayo dun sa isa, yung isa hindi aware, yun pala may hidwaan. Minsan po gano'n, nagkikita na lang sa 19th floor, nagkakaroon na ng away. Again, kapag po claims at pera ang pinag-uusapan, kakaroon po talaga ng away kahit sa pamilya. Alam niyo po 'yan, no? That's why let us be careful, no, pagdating po sa mga beneficiaries at sa pagdi-disclose ng mga informations. Okay? So, if there's an adverse claimant, we also do not pay. Usually, ito po yung nangyayari, no, na ako yung legal wife, hindi, ako yung legal wife. May mga ganun tayong mga scenario na nakalagay sa beneficiary designation, fiancé. Then pagdating ng death, meron palang pupunta at meron palang tunay na wife, hindi pala siya fiancé. May mga ganun pong situation. So kahit na si fiancé yung nakalagay na claimant doon as beneficiary, pero kung makikita natin na merong legal impediment, that's the time that it will not be payable to the named beneficiary because yun po, meron din tayong sinusod. Kaya kanina makikita ninyo, nagbibigay din kami ng mga reviews sa legal natin kasi may mga kaso po talaga na nagkakaroon na ng agawan. Sino yung rightful payee, no? Or the rightful claimant. Okay? And if there's a fraud, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng fraud? If there's an intention to deceive the company, if there's a fraudulent documents that were submitted, if there's a fraudulent insured or fraudulent beneficiary, kagaya ng example ko kanina, mayroon ng death certificate, may namatay na, pero yun, buhay pala sa totoong buhay. No? So, may mga ganon pa rin po. And of course, we cannot process if there's non-submission of the complete claim requirements. Tumatagal po, hindi po talaga kami makakapag-decide on what will be the claim decision